Welcome to Stories of Chazal. This story is a bit of a continuation to the last story, which was from the Medrsh Viosha, stories about hamelech, about him showing his greatness and learning lessons from creatures which he was able to speak with, because this was the gift he was given. So now we're going to discuss another story in that sense. This story was actually in regards to hamelech. He was King Solomon. He was continuing to travel, like we said in the last story. Go check over there. That basically he was traveling on a certain, like a long, very long cloak of sort, and the wind was, pushing him in different directions while he was on this cloak. It was almost like a hoverboard of sort that he was using it as. So as they were traveling, so what happened was there was a river, and this river had a bunch of little ants next to it that were actually roaming around it. Now one of the ants heard the sound of Melech's, his cloak floating with all the people that are on there with them. There are many, many people that are on there with him. If you look back in the last story, you'll see how many. And this black apparently was a black ant. It was telling the other ants, it was saying, guys, go back home, wherever that home is, so that the army of shlomo and his entourage shouldn't destroy you guys. So Shlomo, King Solomon heard this, because again, we said, like you said in the last story, he was able to understand and speak to all creatures. This is part of his gift. So Shlomo got very angry. He didn't like it. And he told the wind that was blowing this cloak that they're flying on, let us down, bring us lower. And he sent a message, he called for this ant, and he said, which one of you guys, he called to all the ants, which one of you guys is the one that said that go home so that Melech and his entourage shouldn't destroy us? You guys are making us sound like we're evil people. We're just going to go start randomly destroying people. So the black ant, whichever black ant this was, it sounds like this is the only black ant of the whole army of ants, said it was me. So King Solomon asked, why did you say this? So the ant answered, I was afraid that maybe, the army of ants is going to, they're going to see your army with cloak flying around, etc., and it's going to distract them. And the distraction is a problem, because they're on a daily basis, the ants are praising HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If you know about the concept of Perek Shira, then you know what I'm talking about. If not, we'll God willing, make a video about that. What Perek Shira is, it speaks about the songs of all creatures that they sing praise to God. So, anyways, so back to this story. So the ant was saying, I don't want them to stop praising God, that this is what they do constantly, and this would be a distraction to them. So, and the ant says, not just that, but we're afraid if they stop it, God might get angry at us and kill us. This is what we're supposed to be doing. So Shlomo tells the ant, why are you the only one that said this? Why are you the only one who realized this? Why did no one else care about this if you guys really, are all saying shir to God? So he responded, I'm actually the queen of the ants. So he asked her, what's your name, to this ant? So the ant responded, my name is Machshimosh. That's one version of the name in this story. So Shlomo tells the ant, by the way, I have a question for you. Could I ask? She said, of course. He says, but there's one problem. The problem is, it's not fitting that the one who is asking a question is on top, and the one who is hearing the question and responding is on the bottom. So Shlomo picked up the ant and put it, or at least let it go on top. I guess it seems like he was still floating a little in there or something. So he brought it up onto onto the cloak. So the ant says, still, I can't answer your question yet, because it's not fitting that the one who's asking the question is sitting and on a chair, and the one who's being asked is down on the floor area. So you think you have to pick me up, that I could be face to face with you, and I can answer your question. A very interesting lesson about how to treat people when you're talking to them and ask them questions, just for that simple dignity. So he picked it up, put it in his hand, and he held it by his face like this, and he started conversing with it. So the ant said, now you can ask me a question. So he said like this. He said, there's no one in the world who is as great as me. This was a fact. It's true. He had these capabilities no one else in the universe at the time that we know of had. So she said, so he asked her a question. He said, is there anyone that's greater than me? I don't think so. So the ant said, yeah, actually there is someone greater than you. So he was surprised. Really? Who's greater than me? So the ant responded. You know what they responded? Me. I'm greater than you. Wow. Shock of an answer. So shlomo asked, curiously, how are you greater than me? Tell me. So the ant told him like this. Very wise answer. If I wasn't greater than you, God wouldn't have sent you to me to pick me up. Right? Think about that. Quite an interesting response. So when Shlomo heard this, he got very angry, and he threw the ant to the ground, and he said, "You don't know." He told the ant, "You don't know who I am. I'm Shlomo Melech, the son of David Melech Olav Shalom." So the ant responded to Shlomo Melech, "You should know that you come from a rotten drop. That's how you're created. So don't have this gaiva, don't have this haughtiness within yourself." So in that moment, Shlomo Melech became very embarrassed, very humbled, and he told the wind, let's get out of here. Let's just fly us away. So before he had managed to leave, the Namala, the ant, told Shlomo Melech, "Go, but don't forget God, and don't have too much gaiva." So yet again, another powerful lesson that Shlomo learned from these creatures. The same lesson, just in a different manner, a different perspective. So don't forget, the story actually is from the same medrash as the last time we met Medrash Viosha. It's quite a rare medrash, very controversial, the sourcing of it, but there's definitely, the lessons are extremely powerful. Have a great day.